It's Shrien again, talking about writing, tips, advice, rants, just me trying to get out there, use my voice, talk about my story, and find my community, honestly. So today I want to be talking about how to overcome some of that challenging fear of being seen behavior. And I'm talking as someone who currently is still struggling with this a little bit and is working to overcome it. Honestly, my first big realizations that this was an actual problem that I had was when I entered new spaces and I found myself kind of like shrinking back and not really wanting other people to perceive me or know me, using my shyness as oh, I'm just a private person, I don't really want people to know who I am, I'd rather let them get to know me and then they can access different parts of me that then is only awarded to some people. And while that is certainly still kind of like running under some of the way I operate, I do think that a little bit of it has been slight paranoia, slight kind of justification for staying small and keeping myself like in the corner, hidden. I was applying to some jobs, softly. In 2023 I started and nothing was really landing. I got a lot of interviews, I got a lot of opportunities that I don't even know why I got considered for them, to be honest. Like, some of them were just so like not in my area of interest, but I was so desperate to kind of like find a new job. And at the time, it honestly wasn't even about I want to expand, I want people to hear me. It was honestly about I want to make more money. And so I was just applying everything and anything. And while money is important, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not, you're not going to find your power through money. You're going to find money through your power. Then I got interviewed and offered a new job, and it was a higher pay, higher role, more responsibility, something I'm completely unfamiliar with that I had to educate myself on. And I was scared. Like, it was still in education, so I was, knowledgeable enough, but like there were a lot of things I didn't know. And so I was terrified to start this. And what I was going off of was faith, because I had a really good feeling about the person who hired me. I had a really good feeling about the organization itself, and I had a really good feeling about my like desire to expand and like do something new. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just try and see what happens. And I took a leap of faith, and it was the best decision I could have made. But it forced me to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone. And that's why I'm talking about it today, because I do feel like it's a really important conversation to have as a creative, because I didn't realize I was doing it until I entered this new professional space. And now I'm seeing how I'm doing that in other areas of my life. And it's safe. It is safe and it's comfortable. But after a period of time, it becomes limiting. And that's the last thing I want for myself. And I know that's the last thing most creatives want for themselves and their projects as well. Get used to being uncomfortable. You cannot stay in your comfort zone if you want to grow. And so that means if you don't talk, if you're shy and you're like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to say anything, I just want to write my notebook in the corner, that's fine. There are people who have, become successful that way, but we are in an age of people expressing themselves. We need to kind of also adjust to this new era, this new life that we have. And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm not a person who likes to come on the camera and talk all the time, and I'd rather be behind the camera. I remember my first website URL was shrienbehindthescenes.wordpress.com, and only recently did I change that, because I was like, it's just giving too much away about my shyness right now. I don't need people to know that I'm that shy. Now, I didn't like it. I don't like being thrust in front of anything, but there were a few times in my life that I was thrust in front of something. One being when I won some writing awards, the other being when I got the opportunity to teach at college, to teach freshmen. Scariest first day of my freaking life. I was shaken more than they were, and they were first day of class, first year of college people, and I was scared. I was so terrified. And then you just feel there's a shift happening, and that's why you're scared. It's not that you're scared because you can't do it. It's scared because you've never done it before. So just like taking that step into that unknown, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable for a while. Even I know it's easier said than done, and it literally feels horrible when you're like going through it sometimes, but just finding ways to regulate yourself and to remind yourself you're always going to be okay. That comfort zone is always going to exist if you need it, but it's not somewhere to practice life from. It's not going to get you where you want to get. The second thing I would say is, and something that I'm unlearning every day, is there's no such thing as perfect, and you should not strive to perfection. It doesn't exist. So why are you gonna burn yourself out trying to reach it? It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. For me, that looks like just doing it, seeing what happens. For example, now I'm like, oh, okay, I have my really cool camera that I can record this video on, but I don't have a microphone. And part of me was like, well, we should just wait till we get the microphone. So I'll just wait till March because my birthday's in March, and then I can ask for that for my birthday, and then I can put it on my camera, and then I can make the perfect video. And then I was like, you know what? No, make the video, get the microphone later, and we'll sort it out. It's a progress thing. It's not a perfection thing, and it's actually really inspiring to be able to witness someone in their imperfection. When I see things already like perfectly curated and created, I have no understanding of the person behind it. Like, I don't know the creator. I don't understand who they are. And while it's easier to digest things like that, it doesn't stay in your mind as much. When I'm on TikTok scrolling, I have all those like videos of like perfect self-care day, how to take care of yourself, like all these packaged beautiful like apartments and products and things that people have, these luxury things. I don't know anything about that person, that creator, except for the fact that they enjoy a Sunday night self-care routine. But I'm like, I know a lot of people who enjoy Sunday night self-care routines. And I don't know anything about you. How did you come to that routine? When did you learn that this was important? Did you always grow up with this feeling of like, I need to take care of myself more? Why Sunday? Why not another day? Like, people like witnessing people's journey. People like witnessing people's behind the scenes. That's what makes us remember people, right? That's what makes us remember their stories, their pages, and their content. I don't care about someone who is trying to sell me on some version of perfection. I care about someone who acknowledges that they're imperfect and they're just fumbling their way through and finding it out. And like, I love it. I love it. Just get started and ask for forgiveness later if it looks messy. Doing that creates a self-confidence in you that chasing perfection never will. Never will. Chasing perfection will always make you feel small. Moving through progress and moving through like, I'm just gonna try and just do it, is always going to build your sense of self. It's not about like, okay, I'm gonna go into this perfectly and I need to finish it perfectly and write it perfectly, because then you're gonna get in your head every time you see a new book come out, someone talk about their book, their process, their writing, their feedback, this program they went to, this award they won, your idea of perfectionism is gonna go up, and then you're never gonna do anything. It's going to drive you crazy. So it drove me crazy, and it's driving me crazy. And so this is me also talking myself down, by the way. This is why I'm so impassioned right now, because I'm clearly talking to the choir, talking to myself at this camera, and like, yeah, I'm just like really reflecting on all the times I've kind of like sold myself short because I wanted to be perfect. We're constantly measuring ourselves against an impossible standard. And when we do that, we lose sight of the value of why we did the thing in the first place. Like, why did I start writing this story? Why did I begin writing in the first place? Why did I want to, you know, what was the thing that made me stay up a little later? What was the thing that made me talk about things with such passion? You don't remember because you're just trying to win an award or get into a program, and all those things have value. I'm not saying they don't, because they do, and they do make you feel good, and they do make, you know, you get, you know, access to spaces and places that maybe you wouldn't have. I'm not saying don't work to those things, but those things are just products of your natural work on something you actually care about. They're not like the token of access to your creativity. My third thing would be to get comfortable with asking for, you know, help, asking for advice, talking your ideas out, talking your feelings out, and remembering that you're not the only person in the world dealing with these things. Like, I feel like there's been so many times I've dug myself into these like self-isolation holes with multiple things, not just writing, but like multiple things. And I do think there's like a type of persona that a lot of the times comes with being a creative, where it's like, maybe, okay, we observe rather than participate, we listen rather than speak, because we want to like take note of the human condition, how people operate, and then later channel that into whatever that we're creating, right? But there is an advantage to also speaking sometimes. There is an advantage to letting your sorrows and your burdens be heard by people, and also like letting people be there for you, letting people hold your hand through something or say like, you know, actually I also struggle with that. Like I'm also someone who struggles with perfectionism. Like I haven't figured it out yet either, so you're not the only one. This is like key. Like you're not going to get anywhere trying to fix a problem by yourself, because I promise you, I promise that you're not the first person to have experienced all of this. Like you're not the first person to experience, I don't know what I'm doing, I used to write so much, I don't write anymore, oh my god, like what if I write something that my parents don't like, or like what if it's not good enough, or there's another story just like this on the market, what if like you are not the only person. If you literally type in your problem and then type in Reddit, you'll probably find a thread on it. Getting comfortable with talking out your feelings with other people. Don't like hide yourself away and think that you're the only person, you're some like exceptionalist to this like problem, because you're not. No offense, you're not, I'm not, no one is. We can find some solace in community and kind of like just get over these like little ego bumps so that we can get back to what we actually care about, which is creating. So those are my 3 tips for overcoming the fear of being seen. I hope this was helpful to someone. It was helpful for me, honestly, just to talk about it. So if it was helpful to someone, it was helpful to me, and I hope it was helpful to you too. Drop some comments on your advice for overcoming the fear of being seen, overcoming perfectionism, and how you live your creative life more effectively.